Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a quiet stream, watching the water as it snakes its way around rocks, slipping under fallen branches, swirling into little eddies. Nothing about it is forced. Nothing is hurried, and yet somehow the stream always finds a way. What if you could live your life like that? Hey there, and welcome. Today, I want to invite you on a journey, a different kind of journey. We're not marching toward a goal with a step-by-step plan. We're not bracing ourselves to crush it or hustle harder. Instead, we're learning how to let go. How to live with more ease and flow, even when life feels anything but easy. Sound impossible? Stick with me. All right, let's get honest for a second. How many times have you tried to wrestle life into submission? Maybe you've tried to plan every detail. You might stress over things you can't control or grip tightly to a certain outcome, believing that if you just try hard enough, you'll force things to go your way. But here's the catch. No one tells you the more you try to push life, the more it pushes back. Here's where the ancient wisdom of Lao Tzu, the legendary Chinese philosopher, comes sweeping in with an unexpected truth. Life isn't something to be forced or tamed. It's something to be understood, appreciated, and get this, trusted. Let's get to know Lao Tzu for just a moment. Picture a philosopher from ancient China, somewhere around the 6th century BCE, but honestly, he's a bit of a mystery. Some say he was real, some say he's more legend than fact. But one thing everyone agrees on, he wrote the Tao Te Ching, a slim book of poetry, so powerful, it's still changing lives 2,500 years later. What does Tao mean anyway? It's often called the way, but don't picture a path you walk. The Tao is the flow of everything, how rivers curve, how seasons slip into each other, how wildflowers bloom without a plan. Taoism is Lao Tzu's invitation for us to step into that flow and stop breaking ourselves against the current. Ever felt drained from trying to make something happen your way, like you're paddling upstream? Getting nowhere but exhausted? Maybe you felt it in work, relationships, even within your own heart. The truth is, every time we cling to how things should be, instead of meeting them as they are, we set ourselves up for struggle. But Lao Tzu's wisdom isn't about giving up or being passive. No. It's about learning to act when the time is right and relax when it isn't, kind of like a surfer waiting for the perfect wave. There's a Taoist idea for this, wei. It means effortless action, not laziness, not inaction, but doing what needs doing and nothing more. Think of water again. It never tries to break a rock in half. It simply flows around, finding a gentle path forward, shaping the world with its patience and softness. Why is this so hard for us mere mortals? Let's face it, we live in a world obsessed with control. If you just work harder, plan smarter, push faster, you'll get what you want. But has that ever truly worked? If hustling was the answer, wouldn't we all be more fulfilled by now? Let me share something personal. A few years ago, I was fixated on landing my dream job. I networked, I prepped, I tried to manifest every possible outcome. I was gripping so tightly, I couldn't breathe. When the offer didn't come, I thought I'd failed. But what happened instead? Another totally unplanned opportunity landed in my lap, a job that turned out to fit me in ways I couldn't see before. It's like the Tao stepped in and said, "Relax, I got this." So, if you're tired of beating your head against a wall, if you feel like life is just one long tug of war, Lao Tzu's wisdom is the cool breeze you've been waiting for. Let's explore a few powerful, practical ways you can stop forcing life and start flowing with it. Slow down and see clearly. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly paused before reacting? Lao Tzu asks, do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Just imagine you're holding a glass jar filled with muddy water. If you keep shaking it, the mud swirls and clouds everything. But when you stop, let it rest. The mud slowly settles, the water clears on its own. Most of us live in permanent swirl mode. An email pops up, we jump. Someone criticizes our work, we snap back. We react on autopilot, not even noticing whether what we're doing makes sense in the moment. Sound familiar? Try this experiment with me. Next time you feel triggered, annoyed, judged, anxious before you say a word, pause. Seriously, just give yourself 3 breaths. Don't rush to fix, to defend, to act. Watch those muddy thoughts settle. Suddenly, you see more options, more nuance, and maybe even a sense of calm. Let's put this into a real-world context. Pretend you're in a meeting and your boss points out a mistake, ouch. Your chest tightens. Your brain screams, unfair. In the past, you might jump in defensively or shut down completely. But with Lao Tzu's advice, you just inhale deeply. Listen fully, and instead of arguing, say, "Thank you for the feedback, help me understand what you'd like to see next time." Instantly, the energy shifts. The meeting doesn't erupt. Instead, it turns into a genuine conversation. You move from confrontation to connection, all because you paused long enough to see what was real, not just what you feared. That pause? That's the magic. In that tiny space, you reclaim your power. You create room to choose how to act, not just react out of habit. Let go of control. Let's talk about control, the illusion we're all taught to chase. Lao Tzu drops this gem: by letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. It sounds paradoxical, but think about this. When you grip a handful of sand, what happens? The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Control is like that. We grab at outcomes, our partner's feelings, a job offer, what strangers think of us, and, ironically, the more we force, the more things slip through our fingers. If you've ever waited for a text that never came, you know the agony. Should you check in? Are you being too persistent or not persistent enough? The mind spirals, and there's no peace. But what if you took a breath, unclenched your fist, and trusted? If that job or person is meant for you, they'll find their way. And if not, you've made space for something better. Okay, I know it's easier said than done. So, try this. Next time you're gripping too tightly, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I let go? Then, what might become possible if I do? You may find that by relaxing your grip, you're actually giving life a chance to surprise you. And often, the surprise is much better than anything you could have planned. Stay with me. In the next part, we'll dive even deeper, learning how to act in harmony with what's actually happening, instead of fighting an endless battle with the universe. See you there? Flowing with life, turning Taoist wisdom into everyday practice. Welcome back. If you're here, chances are something about Lao Tzu's approach resonated with you. Maybe you're ready to loosen your white-knuckle grip on life. Maybe you're just curious, what does it actually look like to live in flow? To stop forcing and start allowing? Pull up a chair, take a breath, and let's dive in. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception. Living by the Tao doesn't mean you're passive or that you sit around, waiting for things to fall into your lap. Think of it less as being a passenger and more as being a skilled surfer. You need to paddle. You need to position yourself. And when the right wave comes, you ride it with everything you've got. But here's the part most people miss: you can't make the ocean give you a wave before it's ready. No amount of hustling will change the rhythm of the tides. Act in harmony with the moment. Tell me if this rings a bell. Something unexpected shows up in your life, a problem, a delay, a miscommunication, and your first instinct is to fix it ASAP. You want to jump in, take control, and force the situation the way you think it should go. It's human. But according to Taoism, that impulse is exactly what gets us into trouble. Lao Tzu says, when nothing is done, nothing is left undone. At first, it sounds like a riddle, but here's what he means sometimes. The best action is to pause and let the situation show you what it needs. Think about pushing a door that's meant to be pulled. You can exhaust yourself, or you can notice the sign and switch tactics. Acting in harmony means responding, not reacting. Sensing what's called for, then moving with the moment instead of against it. Imagine you're talking with a friend who's upset. You want to fix their mood or offer quick advice, but maybe what the moment really needs is your quiet presence, just listening without judgment. That's why in action, effort that fits, never forced, never wasted. Don't chase, be open to receiving. Confession time. Have you ever wanted something so badly, a relationship, a job, an opportunity that you started to chase it? You send another follow-up, you check your messages a dozen times, you replay conversations in your head, obsessed with what you should do next. That chasing energy, people feel it, and often it causes the thing you want to slip away even faster. Here's what's wild. The best things in life often come when you stop chasing them. Need proof? Think of a child trying to coax a kitten. They crouch quietly, open their palm, and the kitten approaches in its own time. But chase, and it darts away. Success, relationships, creativity, they all thrive in the open space of invitation, not the tight grip of desperation. Taoism teaches us, do what you can, but let good things find you. Send in the job application, then trust the process. Share your feelings with someone, then give them space to respond. When you're not busy chasing, you're open to the possibility that something even better might come your way. Align desire with reality. Here's a universal nugget of suffering. Wanting things to be different than they are. You want a promotion now, but your boss says, not yet. You wish your partner would be more affectionate, but they're having a hard week. You look at where you should be, instead of appreciating where you are. Taoism invites us to shift this inner battle. Instead of wrestling reality, can you accept it, then act from that acceptance? It's not about giving up on your goals. It's about seeing what is clearly aligning your efforts with current conditions and letting your desires evolve with the present moment. Let me break it down. If you're single, sure, you might want love. But can you also cherish your freedom? If you're stuck in a job that isn't perfect, what skills are you gaining right now? It's the difference between staring out the window while rain pours down, wishing for sun, and grabbing your boots and dancing in puddles. Adapt like water. Remember that peaceful stream from earlier? Water never demands, "Why is there a rock in my way?" It simply flows around obstacles, finding the path of least resistance. That's the secret sauce. When life throws a boulder in your path, you can fume, fight, or like water you can look for the opening, the new route, the lesson hidden in detour. Lost a job? Maybe it's space for something new. Relationship on pause? Time to grow in ways you couldn't before. Taoism isn't about pretending setbacks don't hurt. It's about learning how to bend without breaking. When you match life's flexibility, you become resilient, strong in your softness, calm in your ability to adapt. Practice detachment from results. Let's bring it full circle with a final Taoist pearl. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. You plant a seed, but you can't tug on the sprout to make it grow faster. Your part is the planting, watering, nurturing, and then you let go. This is the hardest, most beautiful piece. Give your best in every effort, but detach from the outcome. That doesn't mean you become emotionless. It means your inner peace isn't tied to whether you win or lose. When your self-worth isn't hooked to results, you become unshakable. You show up with love, with presence, with heart, and then you release control, allowing life to do the rest. In next part, We'll turn all these insights into simple, real-life practices you can use every single day, so you can stop struggling upstream and finally feel yourself float. I can't wait to keep going with you, making Taoist wisdom real everyday practices to flow with life. Welcome to the final part in our series on stopping the struggle and learning to flow with life, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Lao Tzu. If you've made it this far, you're probably feeling a little lighter already, maybe even catching glimpses of how effortless things can feel when you're not always pushing upstream. Today, let's get super practical about applying these ideas in daily life. Start your day from stillness. Imagine waking up tomorrow and letting your mind settle before jumping into emails, notifications, or social media. Take 2 minutes, yes, just 2. Close your eyes, feel your breath, notice what's going on inside, and just watch as your thoughts drift by, like leaves floating downstream. This is how you let your mud settle in the morning, making space for clarity to take root. You'll notice the whole day flows differently when you start it grounded instead of rushed. Try the 3-breath pause. Next time something sets you off, a rude comment, bad traffic, stressful news, don't react immediately. Instead, take 3 slow, conscious breaths. As you inhale, acknowledge what you're feeling. As you exhale, let some of the reaction go. By the 3rd breath, you'll usually see more clearly and respond with intention. It's such a small act, but it shifts the energy in every room you enter. Journal the release. When you find yourself gripping onto an outcome, maybe an email reply, a job offer, or how someone should behave, write it down. Literally, put your attachments on paper. Then, write 1 sentence, I let this go, trusting it will unfold in the best way for me. It might sound simple, but this act of letting go on paper often helps you release that tension in your mind and body too. Act, then step back. Every day, you'll get chances to practice detachment from results. Think of all the moments, sending a text, pitching an idea, cooking a meal. Do your best in the action itself, be present. Give what you can, and then, when the moment passes, say to yourself, my work is done. Now I let go. You may be amazed at how often things go better and feel lighter when you're not obsessing over the outcome. Flow like water, adaptability in action. When plans fall apart or someone cancels, use it as a chance to practice flexibility. Ask, how can I flow around this instead of fighting it? Maybe a canceled plan makes space for an evening of self-care. Maybe a setback at work shows you a new possibility. Instead of thinking, this shouldn't be happening, try, what's opening up for me now? Water always finds a way through, and so can you. Real-life scenarios. Work stress. When a project changes direction last minute, instead of panicking, step back and ask, what does this moment need from me? Sometimes it's focused action, other times it's patience, or even asking for help. Relationship struggles? If someone's energy shifts, resist the urge to chase or force closeness. Give space, show compassion, and let the dynamic flow. Just like water, trust that true connection finds its own level. Personal goals? If your dreams feel far away, don't turn the journey into a battle. Keep moving forward with openness and let setbacks become part of your story, not evidence that you're failing. Gentle reminders for daily living. You don't need to control everything. Most of life is outside your control anyway, and that's okay. You can trust life's timing, even if it doesn't match your plans. The best actions are the ones that feel natural, not forced. Your worth isn't tied to any outcome, just to showing up authentically every day. If you find yourself resisting, remember, it's natural. Our world teaches us to grip tight, to chase, to push. But you have another way, a softer, stiller, but profoundly powerful way. Lao Tzu's Tao isn't a distant ideal. It's a living current you can step into with every breath, every pause, and every open moment. So here's your invitation. For the rest of today, just try it. Slow down. Let go. Respond. Don't react. Flow. Don't force. Trust. And see where life takes you. That's the beauty of the Te and the beginning of a lighter, more effortless way to live. Keep practicing, keep breathing, and may you always find the flow.